This right here is a lesson on how to beat Iowa when Iowa's playing like Iowa at their best. Before I get into the Iowa State reaction, hello to the new folks to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. If you love the B1G, this right here is the place to be. When you play the Iowa Hawkeyes and they're getting punts inside the 10 and the 5-yard line and they're forcing turnovers and playing great defense, how do you beat them? All you gotta do is hang around and hopefully you cross your fingers and you get yourself a 99-yard touchdown drive, and that's exactly what happened for Iowa State. You can't let Iowa, especially when playing at Kinnick Stadium, you can't let them engulf your brain and let them take over and let them get short fields, because that's exactly how they score their only touchdown. Early in the game, the blocked punt, the short touchdown run in this game, that's the only points. That's the only touchdown in 2 games that the Iowa Hawkeyes have had thus far this season. Give credit to Iowa State. The key to hanging around Iowa when they're playing their game, when special teams is as good as it is, right? It was good today. Torrey Taylor doing his thing. I mentioned the block punt. When the defense is forcing turnovers, you just got to be mentally strong and hang around. That's exactly what Matt Campbell did. I thought Iowa State would have a little bit of a better day offensively than they did, but man, they came through exactly when it needed to happen. Okay, let's open up the can of worms. Let's talk about Iowa and their quarterback situation. What in the blue hell are they doing still playing Spencer Petras? That's what I want to know. I mean, this guy, it seems like every other throw, he's throwing it 2 feet. He's throwing it 8. He's throwing it 9 feet in the air. He's throwing it way over receivers' heads. At some point, you got to look around and maybe you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, maybe I'm the problem. This coaching staff maybe has to do that. They got to look themselves in the eye, in the mirror, and say, well, we tried and Spencer clearly isn't working right now. I'm not saying that Spencer Petras is all of the problems that exist with the Iowa Hawkeyes and specifically the Iowa Hawkeyes offense. But you got to start somewhere, and no better way to start on offense when you're having offensive issues than at the quarterback position. And I don't think there's any doubt in my mind, and maybe not a lot of doubt for you Iowa fans, that says, yeah, Spencer Petras is not an accurate quarterback. When you can't throw for over 100 yards in a game, I understand it was downpouring. I get that later on in that football game. But man, and Iowa State's not, I don't think they're world beaters on the defensive side of the football either. Fill me in if they are, Big 12 fans and Iowa State fans out there. But this is an Iowa offense that should be doing better. Maybe they're going to wait until Keegan Johnson and Nico Reganey get back healthy. Maybe that's the excuse they're giving themselves right now. But man, you throw those guys back in the lineup, you might get a little better. I'm just not sure how much better. Okay, I'm not sure if the talent is the issue. Okay, because there's guys on this team, and Spencer is still not accurate getting those guys the football. Maybe Keegan and Nico will get a little bit more open, more Keegan probably than Nico. But right now, this is a bad situation if you're the Iowa Hawkeyes. And man, it's stressful for that defense. To put the team on their back like they have these last 2 games is crazy, because if Iowa doesn't get it figured out on the offensive side of the football, eventually that defense is going to break. And eventually you're going to get a game like you had last year against Purdue, where your defense is just carrying the load, forcing turnovers, trying their best. Wisconsin almost had it last year too, early in the season. It's just like, man, we can't carry the entire load ourselves. Eventually, you got to help us out, man. You got to meet us halfway. It's like a pitcher in baseball. Eventually, I got to get some run support. I throw 8 scoreless innings and, I get a couple of hits here. And you got to help me out at least a little bit to make my job easier. I need a little bit of a rest when I'm on the other side of the ball there. So there's big problems, I think, in Iowa City right now. There's a lot of good things. Nobody does special teams like the Iowa Hawkeyes. Right now, the Iowa defense is probably the best defense in the Big Ten. You could rank them top 10, top whatever nationally. They're in that conversation. There's a lot of talent on that defense. Man, if they had an offense that was like 60th or 70th in the country, this would be a damn good football team at the University of Iowa. But they have a horrid offense. A horrid offense. And they got to look themselves in the mirror. They got a game against Nevada coming up, and they got to make some changes. Whether it's Padilla, whether it's Joey Lavis back there, they got to make some changes. And if something doesn't work out, you got to look at yourself as a coaching staff in the mirror and say, what have we done wrong? Because there's been a lot of faith in Spencer Petras. Spencer Petras has been here. If you watch the Brian and Kirk Ferentz press conferences, you know what I'm talking about. It's sad. It's sad to watch that this is a Big Ten offense. But it's also really exciting to watch that is a Big Ten defense and special teams. It's a weird situation going on at the University of Iowa. Now that they're on the losing end, hopefully that's some motivation to change some things up before Nevada. And then, whoa, once you get into the Big Ten schedule, you're going to see a lot better offenses, I think, than you've seen so far. You look at Ohio State, you look at the Purdue's. I think they play Michigan on that schedule, so it's going to get a lot tougher for the University of Iowa. You're going to be 6-6 if you don't figure this thing out offensively. So I want to hear what you guys have to think about the Iowa State results. Are you as kind of down in the dumps on that offense? Do you think there needs to be some changes on that Iowa offense? And how about those special teams yet again? And how about that defense? Leave your thoughts, comments below. Make sure you subscribe to Big Ten Ted. I'm Big Ten Ted, and we will see you in the next one.